You must be wondering where. If you had told me when I was 13 that I would make $1 million in a video, I wouldn't have even known how much money. I would have said it was more than 100 bucks. So $50 was a lot to me at the time. I'm just from a small town. Relatively small town in North Carolina, and my mom raised us no big deal, and as strange as it sounds, especially when I was younger. When I was younger, I really didn't like being around people. And I have a very obsessive if I like something, it just consumes my life. My first baseball, I didn't want to do anything else. My first was going to the baseball field to practice. Little League was the most embarrassing thing in my life. I didn't know how to communicate. I was very shy. Even if there was a guy sitting in front of me, it's impossible to talk to him. But outside of sports, it was just YouTube. It was all I watched. I have a memory of a video watched at the time where one of my favorite, the creator of Voodie's Gamertech, quit his job and went all the way to YouTube, and it was before a lot of people didn't even know that you could make money on YouTube was a way to make money. I remember when I saw that, I was 12 years old. And then my head was all over the place. I was like, wait a minute, you can make money doing this. Is one of my first memories of watching YouTube because of that. I was like, oh, like I kind of want to do that. Look at that. Aren't those beautiful 4 digits exactly the kind of stuff that I was doing when I was 14, 15 years old? When I was 14 or 15 years old on YouTube. And then when I was 15, I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. It was pretty severe at the core. Disease is an inflammation of the bowel, and because it's inflamed, you can't process your food. Okay, when I eat something, it goes through me literally all day long, and because it sits inflamed, it's like somebody stabbing on your stomach. So it was very painful. I lost weight from 180 pounds to 139. I remember 139 because that was my lowest weight, and at 6'2", I was like a little fragile twig. I mean, I could barely get out of bed. I didn't have the strength to do anything. I didn't even want to go to. I just hated my life. I probably would have tried to play baseball in college, but because of Crohn's, it definitely changed the trajectory of who I was. Okay, I was done with that, and then I just went on YouTube, and I was obsessed with my shyness, and my lack of confidence in myself was such a big obstacle. But despite that, I still just did it because I wanted to do it so much. I was like, I don't like talking to people, but I just really like making videos. Like, as weird as it sounds, I just have to get used to it because it's what I like to do. When I first started, I had a really shitty laptop. I think my brother got it for Christmas, and I ended up just stealing it and using it. I didn't know how to edit. I didn't know how to do anything. I basically had nothing. I didn't know anything. I didn't have any money. I had no money, and I was just like, I was trying to make it work. For the first time. I hadn't made anything for a couple of years on YouTube. For a few years to get advertising on my videos, you had to be very famous. A lot of my early videos, because I was just uninterested at the time. I was stupid. Every night before I went to sleep I just thought, this sucks, it's a lot of work, I feel like it's not going to work. But if I just long enough, eventually it'll work. I don't know why I had this way of thinking at such a young age. But it's just the way I just can't stop. I've just always been drawn to it. I don't get the idea that one day being a YouTuber was enough to make me happy. I never wanted to go to college. My goal in high school was never to go to college. I just thought if I could make enough money before I could do it. That's when I doubled down on YouTube. I was still only making a few dollars a day, like I'm supposed to figure this out. So I kept going, but I stopped going to class. I just didn't tell my mom that I was making videos while I was in college, so I wouldn't tell her. But for some reason when I got there, maybe I just got a big spark of motivation and became more persistent. But then that's when things started to happen and my audience started to grow. So the first month of college, I started making enough money to probably make about $1,000 a month or so, and I'd wake up and work on a video and then go to bed. That's where I just went. Hyperdrive is definitely where I got really weird. I'm actually going to count to 100,000. To tell you the truth, nobody on YouTube has ever done anything that's stupid. Just counting 40 hours. That's like 1 2 3 4. It got a lot of attention. It's one of my first real viral videos. And there it goes. So if I do interesting things, People will watch. 100,000. And that's when I kind of realized that if I really give it my all, really be creative and unique, I'm doing things that nobody else does because it's hard. People have no choice but to look at it, because it's just interesting, you know. Okay, so here's where it gets interesting. My first real deal with trademark anyway, this agent manager who introduced himself as Squid called me up and said, "Hey, we're gonna give you $5,000 for the video." Which was crazy at the time. I just shoot a video and make a video and get 5 grand. I remember because I was standing on the track and I was like, no, I want $10,000, and he was like dollars, and he's like $5,000, and I'm like, no, I want $10,000, and I just want to get out of the house and give it to a homeless guy. And he was like, really? Hey, I'm a YouTuber, so you can see the camera. So, if you want it, take it. It's like $10,000. I'm not kidding. The video turned out great. Obviously the guy was happy, the kudos were happy, I was happy, and since the video came out so good, I literally took the money and then made another one. And I had this idea that if I took this branded money and put it in the video, that this video would sell well, and then I would take the money from that video and this video would do well and kind of create this cycle. And that's when I thought I want to use brands to help people. I thought that would be really cool. I was just shocked. I thought I had just figured out the code. In some of my videos, I literally gave away over $1 million. I didn't just want to make, I just wanted to make money. I think if you have a purpose in life, right, if you have something that you're striving for, I think that helps you work longer hours. It helps you work through the night because you have something that you wanted to accomplish, right, and you work and do a year later. I definitely hit you, but I had more reasons than just the desire to be famous or just the desire to get money. I love doing unique, crazy things and just keep the focus with positive help. So whenever we come up with a crazy idea, it usually goes in that direction because that's kind of the goal in a perfect world for the next couple of decades. I make tons of millions, and then when I hit 50, I'll just be like, well, I've got all this money, and then we'll just go and open up, you know, a couple of thousands of homeless shelters or food banks. All I know is, one thing I want to do is help people. I like helping people because it makes me happy and it makes me feel good. I like to see their faces light up. But for me, there's nothing more fascinating to me than just watching someone who's having a hard day that it just makes me feel good.